Will the market go up or down? Should you lock in or float? Find out this and more with Master of the Markets, hosted by Barry Habib of MBS Highway. Brought to you by United Wholesale Mortgage.
Does your wholesale lender do this for you? Free customizable marketing materials, online loan tracking for your clients, returns your past clients to you, and complimentary client retention campaigns. Don't you think it's about time you found one that does? Partner with United Wholesale Mortgage and receive these benefits and more.
Welcome to another edition of Master of the Markets. I'm Barry Habib with MBS Highway. This is created exclusively for Mortgage News Network. It was another crazy week last week, and some really interesting things came out about the housing market. Very strong sales both on new construction and existing homes, and inventory levels continue to remain tight. That's very supportive of appreciation into the future, and it was evidenced by the median home price on existing homes rising to $219,000. This is something very important to tell our clients, that with inventory levels low, while the media still talks about the fact that there's fewer transactions out there, this is very supportive of appreciation going forward. So this remains an excellent time to be a buyer. I know rates have moved up a little bit, but why not look at a longer term ARM? The 7 and 10 year ARMs are probably cheaper than where fixed rates were even at their lowest points about a month ago. However, the good news is that with those ARMs being out there for a long time, 7 years, 10 years, they'll probably save that customer money compared to what a fixed rate would be, regardless, because how many people stay in that home for 10 years or so with the same mortgage? Mathematically, those loans tend to be cheaper, even in really bad scenarios, than a fixed rate would be for at least 10 years or so. And remember, a lot of these are tied to the LIBOR. Currently, the 1 year LIBOR is 0.72%. For these loans to start moving up significantly, that LIBOR would have to go up by several multiples. It would have to rise 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times what it currently is to be at a level that would drive these ARMs to reach their maximum caps. So highly unlikely scenario that rates go absolutely crazy. Now, one of the things that could drive interest rates is inflation. And as we've been reporting this week with our MBS Highway subscribers, inflation is a little bit of concern. The Consumer Price Index came out last week, and that showed inflation on the consumer level, which is something that's more closely watched, to be up 0.3% for the month. Now, while that might not seem like a lot, the year-over-year rate of inflation was 1.8%. We bring this up because the Fed said they won't hike rates until they're confident that they see inflation moving towards that 2% target. So as we inch closer to the 2% target, what could give them more confidence? Well, imagine this: the Consumer Price Index. We get a report every month that comes out, and then the yearly rate measures the last 12 months, obviously. So picture this: you have the last report was from April of 2015, of course, but when we go back the previous 12 months, that means this April of 2015 replaced the April of 2014's number. So next month, in the month of June, when we get May's CPI report, that number gets plugged in for May of 2015 to replace May of 2014. I bring this up to you because as we start to replace some of those numbers for 2014, they were extraordinarily low. In fact, June of 2014, July, August, and September had extraordinarily low readings: 1/10, 1/10, 0, and 1/10 respectively. That's really low. Why do I say this? Well, because if this number now comes in 2015 at even a very tame 0.2% per month for those 4 months, you'd have a rise in inflation that would bring us to 2.2% on a year-over-year basis. And that means the Fed would probably have to think about, or at least pull the trigger on a rate hike, maybe sometime in September. Now, what would this impact? Certainly the stock market has been on a tear and living off an easy money policy. Perhaps that could cause some jitters and some rockiness. It's been a long time since the Fed's hiked rates, but if we look back upon history, initially when the Fed hikes rates, it's stocks that don't like it, and bonds actually perform a little better. So you do get kind of a bump up. But if the Fed is persistent in hiking rates, that certainly can have a negative impact on the interest rate environment. So something to keep in the back of your mind. I don't think anybody's talking about this right now, but it seems to me that the summer months are going to be very critical as we see these inflation reports start to come out. It could mean that the Fed may be in a position towards the beginning of the fall here to start looking at some rate hikes, and that is going to cause some turbulence in the market. So follow it closely, get a free subscription to MBS Highway below, and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Today's Master of the Markets was brought to you by United Wholesale Mortgage.
This is Mortgage News Network.